पर्सी जैक्सन में जितना गलत माइथोलॉजी पता है ना, अगर तुम लोगों को सही से माइथोलॉजी पढ़ना है ना तो सर्सी पढ़ लो। सर्सी का मस्त है। सर्सी ने पढ़ा है लेकिन उसका सेम उसका वो पढ़ा है। I'm not read Percy Jackson and I'm not read Percy Jackson. But still, I know the text version. She's online available. Audio is not even correct. I think it's been correct only. No, everything is. क्या गलत है? Everything is. जैसे कि can half blood bro. There is nothing like that. अरे पर उसमें थोड़ा स्टोरी बनाने के लिए थोड़ा तो कॉन्सेप्ट डालेंगे ना. अरे लेकिन गलत है. Everybody is siblings. Like see, every single god is sibling. No, they are not. It's like one god and one human have a child, so they're like half blood. Yeah. Why? Why? Because then they need story. ना पर्सी को कहाँ से डालेंगे? Son of a god and son of the mother. Gods never interacted with humans. So no, come on. Hey, please don't convert them. Zeus would like actually take mortal, convert them into a immortal goddess, and then get that thing done and then kill her. Exactly. That is Cersei. Read Cersei. You will fall in love with the book. Cersei is the best book ever. C-I-R-C-E. C-I-R-C-E. You actually expected to be with S. Yeah. So this is Greek mythology we are talking about. That's online it's available for free. Cersei. नहीं पर मेरे को book पढ़ने में अच्छा. If you just want to go through it, online it's for free. Audio book भी है. C-I-R-C-E. Okay. Corky नहीं और Cersei. Greek. Shut up. Poseidon. पूरे नया चीनी वाला तो चीनी आया रे कुरकुरा तूने कुरकुरा बोला है ये कैसे No, it's fine. You just have one and just eat it. Exactly. See, this is why Zeus would do that. Okay. Stop. I need to be.
मेरे को पता था इसका ऑफर क्या बोला छोड़ नहीं चाहिए
वेज पैकेट का देखो फर्क नहीं समझ में
वेज में कुकी का
तूने डाला कुकीज एंड क्रीम छोड़ के वो एग्जैक्टली कुकीज एंड क्रीम छोड़ के कॉफी डाला ओ डियर
अच्छा वीडियो बना दे तू सबके वीडियो अच्छा काम कर
गुड
देखिए मेरा काम है अभी भी खाएंगे ना मोमोज का पैसा मैं दूँ
उसे 19 शाइनिंग आवर पे थैंक यू नहीं शाइनिंग आवर का दर्शन शाइनिंग आवर का दर्शन अभी वो उसका समझ आएगा स्टॉप ऑडियो
Glue का?
You did it.
ये कलर चूड़ा भी चूड़ा तुम लोग ने मैजिक में रहना तुम्हें क्या करना?
कितने मिलाया ना?
वो शर्मा के बाद
मैं तुझे चुप रहा।
तू है इतना बड़ा दिल परी पे चुप जा अभी तो उसके कान में उसका नाम बोलो
तो भाई तू चुप रहा क्यों था भाई?
अबे वो दिन एग्जाम के दिन हमको इसका नाम ले रहे थे वो भी को और संजीव की पार्टी नहीं वो जो मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ नहीं बोल रहा एक तो इतने मिला मेरे को ये परिवार
दस का है
हाँ
चुप
चुप बैठो तुम लोग
दस का है
ये मैं क्या
दो लेके
इसको पढ़ा बाइक पे है हां बाइक पे है भाई वॉक कर मेरे ऊपर बोला ही मत कोई नहीं आया
हाँ ये यही था
अरे तो तू ले गिराया ना उसके ऊपर वापस बोला
हो गया
ये बेटा
उतना इनफ नहीं है तेरे लिए इतना भगाया और तेरा एक्सरसाइज करना
ये नहीं
तेरा कॉन्फिडेंस तो मेरे पास है
प्लीज दे दो
मस्त है मेरा ये जर्नी में जिम्मी
ये
तो बाहर लेकर जा
ये पता
इसलिए मेरी मम्मा ने बोला क्लास लौट जाते हैं प्रैक्टिकल आई सब नहीं क्या
ये से ना बोला
क्या
बच्चों को
ऐसा करना यार they're not वीडियो तो हो ही नहीं सरसी पढ़ लेना हां ठीक है नेक्स्ट डे करूंगा ब्रेक पर
तू तो बोला अभी
इसको खिलाना
why you so
ये चुप रहा मेरे
कोई मुंबई ये आपने
इलेक्शन के दिन खिलाओ
भाई तू कौन सी बुक से अरे यार See, that is why I said don't read politics. I'm not God.
देना पड़ गया ना कौन छोड़ा था सुन पापा मैं भी साथ में गाड़ी में गॉक खेल रहे हो पापा क्या कर रहे चाचा के सामने पहले करूंगा
आपको पता है
इधर बोल रहा है ना
Regulus black what?
इधर
I don't know. Good evening again. We will. क्या हुआ? अभी तक खत्म नहीं हुआ?
कभी से हुआ नहीं है खत्म हो गई
Finish over. खत्म. Take out your volume. Let us do some questions now.
Turn to page 155. Take those questions that I give you. This is your pen. You want pencil? Otherwise, I'll give the questions.
No, this is mine.
Okay. All of you, turn to page 155. Turn to page 155. Take out your volume, all of you. Turn to page 155. Pick up pencil. Page 155, question number 13.
Okay, yes, on the bottom. At the bottom.
155, question 13. All of you, take out your book fast. Question number 13. Come next. Page 157. No, you will go now. Page 157, question 28. 157, question number 28. Page 157, question number 28. 158, question number 158, question number 11C. 11B also. Did we do earlier this question?
No, ma'am.
Then you write it. This is with reference to respiration, but you can do this. 11B and
C.
C. 11A, I suppose you all know that answer. I have discussed this quite a number of times with respiration. Okay, check out 11 ABC, all the three. Next is, come to page 150. I'm sorry, 161. Page 161, question number 71. 161, question number 71. All of them. And this you will do in the volume itself. This you will do in the volume itself. 71. Page 161, 71. The question is, why did don't you have the volume? Your darling does not have. You? बहुत भारी है. Oh, super. Excellent. Who took it? See, that person is so smart. How big a pumpkin you are, just imagine. Huh? That book from your bag or from your desk. मेरे से कोई एक पेंसिल लेके बताओ. I've never lost all throughout my schooling, college. एक पेंसिल किसी कोई ले नहीं पाया. How can the book be lost? If you are sincere and alert, always तुम्हारे पास सब कुछ रहेगा. Nothing will be lost. Book is getting lost. You will get lost one day. And now the pressure is on the parent. The parent has to buy that book again. Huh? I'd rather call your parents and ask them not to get that book for you. You manage without the book. It is not only you. I don't even know this generation. So many of them in so many batches. Books are lost. It's only the first and the second month of the year. It's a common name. What I told you, page number 161 I told you, and now back to page 163. Page 163, let us answer these questions. Number 116, 117, 118. Now, first of all, we'll start with 163. Write down these three questions. First of all, in your notebook, I will give you these answers. And the rest you are going to do, I'll give you just 20 minutes. 15-20 minutes, you should be able to finish all the rest. Let's start with this, page 163, write 116, 116. Write that down in your notebook. 163 का 116 लिखो।
Yes.
हाँ क्वेश्चन नहीं लिखोगे, खाली 116 लिखोगे, अगली बार पढ़ोगे कैसे?
163 क्वेश्चन नंबर
क्वेश्चन लिखोगे तो हाइट्स ऑफ लेजीनेस, तुम लोग की बातें सुन के ना लिखा क्वेश्चन। How many of you wrote the question number? सब लोग क्वेश्चन लिखो, क्वेश्चन आंसर लिखो, एक साथ लिख के रखो so that later as it is you read from here what are the answers. Now let us see this question 116. How do kidneys conserve water when the water content of the body is low? What do you think? What did we learn just now? This is what we were studying.
By the process of
Reabsorption. मतलब क्या? How much of the water we are supposed to drink in a day?
1 liter.
5 liter.
Oh my
8
God.
liter.
किसने बोला?
8 liter.
8 liter. MCQ दे रहे हो मुझे। You should not drink more than 2.5 to 3 liters. 2.5 to 3, उससे ज्यादा पीना ही नहीं है। 8 liters. वो 8 glasses बोलना चाह रहा था, 8 glasses की जगह 8 liters हो गया।
8 water.
8 bottle तो 8 liter ही, 1 liter अगर bottle। वो 4 liters हो सकता है, 500 ml बोलोगे तो 4 liters. So now, remember, when we talk about, the concept is not that the more you drink, the more you flush out. Not that. Our kidneys have got a particular capacity. We are supposed to take in not more than 2.5 to 3 liters a day. Then what happens if we drink 5 liters? Is that our body becoming cleaner? No, the kidneys are under pressure. What is it? What does he say? No, our kidneys, not in my dictionary. So now, when we are talking about this, the kidneys are under pressure. The blood vessels have a chance of getting ruptured, break होने का chances रहता है क्योंकि blood pressure बहुत ज़्यादा high हो जाएगा. So it's not that we should drink enough and enough. Enough meaning within a limit. 2 liters भी हम 2 bottles, 3 bottles maximum. उससे ज़्यादा नहीं. Minimum 500 ml. 500 ml तो पीना ही है. For us, for your age, 3 liters our body can easily handle. But if I talk about a person who is 60, 65, 70, 75, doctors would say not even 1.5 to 2 liters. Because the kidney, the body organs have become more weaker now. So 2 liters be enough है उनके body के लिए. Because along with food also the water enters, no? It's not only the water that we drink. Along with food also the water enters. You are drinking some fruits, water is entering. You are drinking, you are taking some vegetables. You are eating some vegetables. Then also the water part is entering. So along with food also a huge amount of water enters the body, right? How do kidneys conserve water when the water content of the body is low, right? When the water content is below average, water content is below average in our body. The kidneys conserve the optimum amount. The kidneys conserve the optimum amount by efficient reabsorption. By efficient reabsorption, that is diffusion of a greater part of the water diffusion of a greater part of the water from the kidney tubules towards the blood. Greater part of the water from kidney tubules towards the blood.
Towards the
Blood.
Blood.
This helps in maintaining the water level in the blood to carry out other processes and releasing out urine that is concentrated and releasing out urine that is concentrated. Releasing out urine that is concentrated. Read the next question, tell me what it should be, what the answer should be. What happened, Agni?
Urea, uric acid, and it is removed.
What is the question? 117. What is the major nitrogenous waste product in the human being? Urea. One only asked, so you will write urea. Two asked, then uric acid also two, right?
Ma'am, if they have asked one, you can write both.
Now you can write both, but now here they are asking what nitrogenous waste product.
So any one of them.
नहीं, urea तो लिखना है because urea is the major. Products पूछा है, name two organic compounds पूछा है तो urea, uric acid. One पूछा है तो urea definitely to write. That's a major waste product. How is it removed from the body? By the process of secretion. लिखो the first part you write and the last part I will give you. First part का answer लिखो, question लिखो, the first part answer you write on your own. Write fast. Answer for the next part is
Just a minute.
So slow.
Question भी thank you.
enjoyed in the month of May.
No.
Yes, kind of.
Like
No.
1 week.
You were not there
Rest
only
of
for
3
1 week.
weeks. Did not enjoy.
You did not enjoy. What you
हम तो one day भी नहीं
what
करते।
what you wanted? Some magic show should have happened here. क्या चाहिए था तुमको? छुट्टी चाहिए था? हाँ?
Ma'am, academic time gave them 2 weeks holiday.
And at least 5 days.
2 weeks चाहिए तुमको
नहीं
holiday.
नहीं.
It's not 1
Ma'am
week.
gave them
Ma'am,
2 weeks
minimum 5
holiday.
days छुट्टी तो चाहिए मैम।
Just a single.
We never went there.
वो अलग बात है, देना सकते हैं। खुद से लेना पड़ते जाना।
So sad.
मैम minimum 5 days holiday we need.
And maximum 4
Maximum
months.
हाँ, ये 6 months ले लो.
Then we also maximum minimum 5 days.
Ma'am, lifetime के लिए.
नहीं lifetime.
खाली छुट्टी चाहिए ना?
छुट्टी के लिए क्या कहते हैं?
हाँ?
At least 1
अब
week.
संडे को भी छुट्टी है
क्यों संडे को क्या है? टेस्ट तो खाली 1 घंटे के लिए आओगे
ma'am,
टेस्ट
Ma'am, वो भी बहुत odd time.
2 बजे अचानक से टेस्ट है.
2 बजे टेस्ट है 1
2 बजे
लंच करके आओगे.
Ma'am, what if we have to
हाँ,
go
तो 1 to 2 अगर 1 to 2 घर पे रहोगे तो वही टीवी देखोगे या तो मोबाइल पे In standard, the first day only when I entered the class, I told you mentally prepared. Rona, bilkul bhi mat. 10th standard, you will not get any holidays.
Ma'am, this is not mentioned anywhere. We can
Where?
take like 1 week.
You were told in the if you
During the admission only, it is told.
But at least 1 week we need now. Saturday.
This is a
Our
common
school
thing.
will have
This is
So
what is the common thing? Shut your mouth and study common
What set
thing.
your mouth, ma'am? Holiday is holiday.
What is? हम ऐसे इस बार की घूम के तो आए बट हम लोग तो इधर ही बैठे ये भी गोवा
तू भी चला जाता अभी मैं
वो नहीं
मेरे
देखा।
साथ
See. अभी प्रॉब्लम तुम लोगों को क्यों लग रही है? Because you all are mentally not able to make yourself understand. तुम लोगों को अभी भी ये लग रहा है कि 5 दिन छुट्टी होता तो अच्छा था, 10 days होता, 15 days होता तो अच्छा. Make yourself understand. Everything the way you look at it, life changes. ऐसे समझ लो कि मैं इस साल मुझे ऐसे 2-3 दिन हॉलीडे कभी इधर उधर मॉल चलेगा, that much only I can afford. उससे ज्यादा मैं करूंगा ही नहीं. Make yourself understand that way.
ये साल पढ़ना है फिर बाद हम टॉपिक ही बंद कर दो ना छुट्टी खत्म हो गई स्कूल चालू.
So that's the reason in the first day itself I told you should be mentally prepared.
We don't crack. We every day came to classes.
Super.
Not like him.
Super.
Him. Yes.
You work hard, you will get the results. Chalo, now we'll write.
तो present होके क्या है?
How is it removed from the body? Let us write. Okay. Let us write. How is it? How is it removed from the body? Let us write down that answer. Urea formed in the liver. Urea formed in the liver. Where is urea formed? In the kidney or the liver? Liver.
Liver.
I'm mentioning this sentence. Always remember this. I taught you also earlier. Urea formed in the liver dissolves in the blood plasma. Dissolves in the blood plasma and becomes a component of the urine. Becomes a component of the urine by the process of tubular secretion. Component of the urine by the process of tubular secretion. Full stop. Urea, the major nitrogenous waste. Urea, the major nitrogenous waste, is released out by the kidney during filtration of the blood. During filtration of the blood. If this basic concept you have understood, that's it. If this basic concept you have understood, then one
Can you repeat the last line?
read out what I'm
Urea is the major nitrogenous waste released by the
kidneys, released by the kidneys,
By the kidney.
filtration of the blood.
During
Filtration of the blood. Try number 118. You should be able to answer this. Same thing. Based on the concept of reabsorption, it is. What happens to glucose? You are supposed to write. The diagram is still here. What happens to glucose during the process of?
what's the difference between urea and uric acid?
Only the arrangement of the carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen is different. And only that when we talk about urea, urea is more toxic. Uric acid is the major nitrogenous waste produced by those reptiles and the birds. For them, more of uric acid produced in their body. In us, less uric acid produced in our body. The composition is different, little bit the structure, the chemical structure is different, of course. But if I have to mention that in our body, urea more or uric acid more? Urea more, normally. Is it possible that in our body uric acid also can be more? Yes. If in any individual uric acid concentration जब बढ़ जाता है, in the joints and the bones uric acid deposit होने लगता है, and it's extremely painful. A condition you must have heard people suffering from uric acid concentration, where the bones and the joints become extremely painful. चलो 118 करो.
Yes, ma'am.
Not yes, ma'am. You do, sir. I told you, based on reabsorption, your answer has to be framed based on the concept of reabsorption. Likho. After that, I'm going to ask you 3 to 4 lines, not more than that. Check the figure, it is still here. What are the steps? What are the names? ये जो आंसर अभी लिखोगे इसमें reabsorption process mention होनी चाहिए.
ना ग्लूकोज traces में होता है.
नहीं, glucose is large quantity in the tubule.
Glucose urine में traces में होती है. Traces में हो तो अच्छा है. If it is in a higher concentration, then we are talking about the condition diabetes. Higher concentration में नहीं होना चाहिए. So the question is asking that what happens to the
When
glucose?
glucose is released by the plasma.
हाँ. But the question is saying what happens to the glucose that enters the nephron along with the filtrate. तो तुमको यहाँ से लिखना है. What happens to the glucose that release into the nephron along with the filtrate? तो filtrate से तुम start करो. The filtrate formed by ultrafiltration contains a higher concentration of glucose. नहीं, ultrafiltration से क्योंकि the word filtrate is mentioned in your question. तो तुम ultrafiltration से start करोगे. What will be your reference? The filtrate formed after ultrafiltration. Filtrate formed after ultrafiltration has a higher concentration of glucose. See there, both of them in a different world altogether. I am saying something. What am I saying?
Ma'am, can you please repeat the line?
The filtrate formed after ultrafiltration has a higher concentration of glucose, higher concentration of glucose than the surrounding blood vessels. Full stop. Maximum amount of glucose. अभी क्या लिखना है? If you have understood, you should be able to frame your own answer. Maximum amount of glucose क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे अभी?
Amount of glucose is present
In the filtrate, in the tubule. So अभी maximum amount of glucose is getting reabsorbed back to the blood by a process known as selective reabsorption. लिखो. Maximum amount of glucose is reabsorbed. Maximum amount of glucose is reabsorbed into the blood. Where are you writing? Where's your book? Why are you hiding? हाँ ऐसे लिखो ना. Maximum amount of glucose is reabsorbed into the blood by a process known as selective reabsorption. Reabsorption. Full stop. This process is brought about by the hormone. Which one?
ADH.
This process is brought about by the hormone ADH.
This process
Is brought about by the hormone ADH. Full stop. Thus, glucose concentration restores in the blood. Thus, glucose concentration restores in the blood and traces remain in the urine. And traces remain in the urine. And traces remain in the urine. Now these questions are over. Now you go ahead. Start with 161. I'll give you just 10 to 15 minutes. Nothing more than that. No talking. I don't want anybody talking. Go through one by one. What volume में करो. The rest you will write down in the volume में ही करना है. The rest you will write down in the notebook.
and first one will be ultrafiltration.
What is it?
All of the three.
What is the question?
Process by which
Excretion. Process by which?
the body nitrogenous waste are
Excretion.
eliminated from the body. Excretion. Now 161 done.
Done. Okay. Go ahead. Complete the rest. The 71 you will do in the volume. The rest you will do in the notebook. क्या हुआ? What happened?
Kidney. On the second one, the major excretory organ of man.
Kidney.
Major
Excretory
Kidney नहीं होता.
अरे तो किडनी
मैम specific क्यों दिया है?
यहाँ पे man मतलब human. It is not
human
man. यहाँ पे अगर man लिखा है, man मतलब human. It's not about male and female. बिना छुट्टी दिए तुम लोग का ये हाल है 6 months और वहाँ पे तुम लोग को छुट्टी चाहिए चलो what now
She's saying lungs is like lungs in carbon dioxide
same urea or uric acid
ureters, bladder,
Ma'am, what is the
what is
Function of the kidney.
नेफ्रॉन अभी तो पढ़ा सामने
when the teacher is teaching you are either drinking water नहीं तो एक दूसरे का चेहरा देख के इतना इन लोगों का अच्छा लगता है or else you are talking smiling giggling so we are just singing the songs in the class and half of the song only you are listening and उससे भी आधा समझ में आता है और छुट्टी चाहिए एक हफ्ता 10 दिन 15 दिन एक महीना छुट्टी चाहिए
मैम आई जस्ट सेड फॉर लाइक 1 वीक
पूरा फुल 1 वीक की छुट्टी देंगे ना उसके बाद when you all come
मैम एक हफ्ते में क्या
नहीं बहुत ज्यादा लेकिन करो 1 वीक ए व्हाट आई मेंशन मैंने क्या बोला था व्हाट डिड आई टेल यू there will be no noise in the class each one of you go through the question properly देखो तुमको आता है कि नहीं why there should be a noise everything done all done doubt है go ahead with the rest of the questions क्या हुआ
Question number 28. Name plant-based products which are stored in oat xylus and plants.
gum and raisins raisins and gum confusion क्या है
He's giving wrong answer.
Not wrong.
Fourth answer बोल रहा है, fifth answer बोल रहा
I
है.
thought she's asking for code so I
I'm not asking.
मैंने क्या बोला था you read your note you answer your own confusion है पूछो don't confuse each other
Ma'am, what is this?
हमें urinary bladder
Which
what is the question
thin membranous sac serving as
Oh
a
my
vessel.
bladder
The process to get rid of excess water in plants is transpiration. This is asking for the pores through which this process is
stomata
Stomata for transpiration as well as external process.
Question 20.
done
Yes. Ma'am,
What we write
Ma'am, any two organic constituents, any two organic constituents of normal human being.
urea uric acid I mentioned also no just now I told also H2O organic है केमिस्ट्री कहाँ से पढ़ के आए हो H2O organic
I'm out
Two things were just stored in one side.
Some raisins. Some
Some
and raisins. I've written somewhere, no? Some and raisins. Raisins. Gum and raisins. RESIN, raisin.
Very clearly, nitrogen is waste product. Two things mixed together. I didn't.
What happened? What happened? Raisin.
What is the force?
Why the class is so noisy?
Waste product in human urine and the organ which produce it. Urea and liver.
Urea and liver.
Done, ma'am. More question.
All the questions, see whether you have finished.
No translation will accept
Slow.
Fish of gills can only diffuse.
Fish of gills.
Gills of fish.
Gills of fish.
और बाइक का
इसको 6 महीने की छुट्टी चाहिए। आगे बोलो।
मैम इसने साल भर बोला नहीं फुल लाइफ
बोलो आगे।
They only reject oxygen from the water.
Dissolved oxygen from the water. They are adapted to dissolved oxygen in the water. They cannot take oxygen from the atmosphere. Complete करो fast.
हो गया मेरे को देखो पीछा पड़ेगा
Yes.
Question number 13 that is given the MCQ.
Head out. हाँ बोलो.
The question was
Yes.
Dialyzer has semi-permeable lining of tube which help flow. Will be to filter nitrogen.
What is it? Start from the beginning. What is it? What is it?
The hemodialysis.
Dialysis. Hemodialysis. हाँ.
Has semi-permeable lining of tubes which help flow to filter nitrogen escapes from the dialysis. Is that correct?
To help
Filter nitrogen escapes from the dialyzing solution.
help. No, not from the dialyzing solution. From the blood. Dialyzer has tubes which will allow the filtration of nitrogenous waste substances from the blood, not from the dialyzing solution.
But there is no other options.
Which one?
It says if a plant is releasing
1 minute.
same question same doubt
This hemodialysis question you are talking about?
And question 13.
The hemodialyzer class, there's a lot of noise. You talk, discuss, but don't keep on howling in the classroom. Marketplace नहीं है ना ये? You have to talk so that I as a teacher I can hear other doubts and I can answer that back. उतना वॉल्यूम में तुम बात कर सकते हो inside class. अच्छा, what is the question here? The hemodialyzer has semi-permeable lining of tubes which help to filter nitrogenous waste from the dialyzing solution, passing waste products in the dialyzing solution, pump purified blood back, passing waste product into the dialyzing solution. C. Passing waste product into the dialyzing solution. Dialyzing solution से नहीं, into. 11 C. 11 a plant. Okay, now question number 11. 158. If a plant is releasing carbon dioxide and taking in oxygen during the day, does it mean that there is no photosynthesis occurring? Give reason for your answer. A plant is taking oxygen. A plant is taking oxygen. What is this question saying? The question is saying the plant is taking oxygen. Is it that? Plant is releasing carbon dioxide, taking oxygen. Yes, the plant is releasing carbon dioxide, taking oxygen. This is the situation the question is asking. Does this mean that the plant is not showing the process of photosynthesis?
It is showing the process of photosynthesis. Well, because plant need carbon dioxide in the process of.
हाँ तो carbon
In the process of photosynthesis.
He is answering something. Be patient enough to listen to what he says.
Plant need carbon dioxide in the process of photosynthesis.
The question is, during the daytime the plant is taking oxygen. During the daytime the plant is taking oxygen, giving away carbon dioxide. Does it mean that photosynthesis नहीं हो रहा है? कैसे justify करेंगे?
Ma'am, it will have some amount of carbon dioxide present.
No.
No,
Plant is, I have explained you this.
is it happening simultaneously? The
क्या?
respiration and photosynthesis are happening simultaneously.
Yes.
नंबर 2 ये तो फिर बात
नहीं, रात को photosynthesis नहीं होता.
When I explained you the concept of photosynthesis, उसके बाद जब हमने respiration पढ़ा था, at that time I told you that every plant when it releases out oxygen as a byproduct for photosynthesis, if you remember, a plant produces oxygen as a byproduct during photosynthesis, but वो जो oxygen the plant produces, a fraction of the oxygen the plant takes it also. एक particular plant is going through photosynthesis, oxygen release हो रहा है as a byproduct, yes or no?
Yes.
तो वो जो oxygen release हो रहा है, almost about 90% going to the atmosphere, और लगभग 8 to 10% the plant is taking back also. Now that is my question. Why? I have taught you. My song is over. Now you tell me why. What I explained you.
To produce energy to the
To produce energy by the breakdown of the food, plant also undergo respiration. Did I mention that?
yes.
During the concept of respiration, हमने ये भी पढ़ा था कि it is not only our cells break down the food for the process of energy release. Plant cells also have to break down the food for the energy release. Photosynthesis during the day is a major process. और ये जो process हम बोल रहे हैं, what is this particular process happening in the plant? This is respiration. तो respiration night time में ज़्यादा prominent process, photosynthesis minor process हो जाता है. Day time में photosynthesis major process, respiration minor process, but ये still happening along with photosynthesis. So that is what you will have to write down there. Concept अगर नहीं समझोगे, then this type of questions you will not be able to answer anything.
Why would it give out numbers?
Because food is getting broken down. Food जब breakdown होगा, glucose is getting broken down. Carbon dioxide will definitely be formed. So that's the reason during the night or after evening hours, it's always mentioned. No, we always are advised not to stay near the plants for a long time at night. Because near the plants, when you are there in the night time for a long duration. You yourself will understand the difference. Daytime में भले plant के नीचे बैठे रहो सो जाओ, no problem, you will never suffer from any suffocation. But at night, whenever you are sitting under the plants, big trees, for a long time, you will suffer from a little bit of a suffocation because there is so much of carbon dioxide around. Rate of photosynthesis कम है रात को, that's the reason the plants are not taking in too much of a carbon dioxide, but carbon dioxide release तो हो रहा है ना. During the day कम हो रहा है, रात को ज़्यादा हो रहा है. Understanding what I'm telling you? During the day, carbon dioxide intake is more. If I have to talk about carbon dioxide intake कब ज़्यादा है? Carbon dioxide daytime में ज़्यादा है, and release कब ज़्यादा है? Evening, night. Oxygen intake कब ज़्यादा है? Again, see, they are smiling away. Both this which are that again, एक तो ये pair और वो pair, ये दो pair का मैं क्या करूँ?
And we will sit together. Villain.
अभी बस एक टेस्ट हो गया. वो टेस्ट के लिए मैं रुकी हूँ. एक टेस्ट बस खाली होने. So now, when we are talking about this concept, so what is this question now? Let us try answering. What is this question? If a plant is releasing carbon dioxide and taking in oxygen during the day, does it mean that there is no photosynthesis? What is it? Does it mean that there is no photosynthesis? Photosynthesis taking place simultaneously along with respiration, because during respiration the plant takes in oxygen and gives out carbon dioxide, right? Write down. The plant takes in oxygen and releases out carbon dioxide due to the process of glucose breakdown. Known as aerobic respiration. Full stop. This process takes place along with photosynthesis during the daytime. Where you will show me your notebook today, where photosynthesis remains a major process. Major process in the plants. Okay, so this is the concept that you have to write. Since the plant is undergoing the process of respiration, hence the oxygen intake and carbon dioxide giving out. Is that all? All answers are done?
Yes.
Read karo healthy potted plant. What do you understand from that? That is from respiration though, but complete karo.
Leave the healthy potted plant when coated with Vaseline. Will this plant remain healthy for long? Give reason to justify us.
Transpiration will occur and it will build.
A particular plant, a potted plant you take, and this potted plant, the leaves are there. The entire leaf surface you are coating with what? Vaseline. This is Vaseline. The leaves are Vaseline. Now that you talk about the Vaseline coating on the surface of the leaf, which are those pores which are getting closed? Stomata getting closed. If stomata getting closed, what are the processes also that will get closed or that will get shut down?
No transpiration.
The question is the plant remaining healthy for a long time? No, the plant will not remain healthy for a long time because exchange of gases, meaning intake of carbon dioxide cannot take place.
And release of oxygen.
Photosynthesis cannot happen. This is the first thing that you will write down. Intake of carbon dioxide cannot take place, and hence the process of photosynthesis cannot occur. Intake of carbon dioxide cannot take place because intake of carbon dioxide, if you remember when I explained you photosynthesis, there also I mentioned about the raw materials. How does the plant get the carbon dioxide? By the stomata. Now the stomata is getting blocked. So if the stomata blocked, how will the plant take the carbon dioxide? No, they cannot take. Will the plant be able to manufacture glucose by the process of photosynthesis? No, no photosynthesis, meaning no glucose formation. So the plant cannot remain healthy for a long time. Whatever food remaining, the plant utilizes, and after that the leaves start getting yellow and drying up. Also the release of excess water in the form of water vapor. That is a secondary part that you have to mention. The major thing is this that you have to write down. Frame your own answer, write in 2 lines and finish up.
Done.
And
Done.
the plant is not able to release excess water, then what are the consequences?
If the plant is not able to release excess water by the way of the stomata, but then the plant has got some other structures also by which they can give away water. Only because the stomata is blocked, the plant will not easily die out, because on the margins of the leaf also there are pores. On the body of the stem also there are pores. The plant will have some other way of releasing out water. But if the stomata is blocked, carbon dioxide cannot get in, photosynthesis cannot happen, because for carbon dioxide, no other inlet, no other way. Done with this?
Yes, ma'am.
बाकी है? Close your books. We take a short recap, and then we move on to the next chapter, that is control coordination. Control coordination we will go through. So you have to read this chapter. This is the most elaborate chapter that you have in your syllabus. Life processes, 4 major sections to study and 4 major elaborate systems you are studying here. Questions, diagrams also I have told you always. The main diagrams about the stomata, the digestive system, the respiratory system, the excretory system, the diagram of the heart, the nephron, the nutrition in amoeba. All these are the important diagrams that you have to practice. Keep practicing this diagram so that at least some question here, there you don't know, at least for the diagrams you are sure that you are able to pick up 2 marks, 3 marks, whatever allotted. So go through, and the volume, quite a number of questions we have done, many more still remaining. You are supposed to answer, try answering every question. Now I'm not saying that take the volume questions and keep answering all of them. I know nobody will do that. So just a waste of my energy telling you also. Nobody will do that. But these are the questions from time to time I will give you a test. Now then I start with control coordination. Every lecture that I meet, I'm going to give you short tests on life processes, and that can be from any part. So you keep reading. Nutrition है, respiration है, transportation है, as per your comfort level. हो सकता है कि एक पार्ट समझ में आया, दूसरा पार्ट नहीं आया. जो नहीं आया वो अच्छी तरह से पढ़ो. Ask questions. So I am going on to the next chapter, but that does not mean that this chapter is absolutely shut down. Every now and then I am going to take tests on this chapter. Okay, oral and written. So I'll take a short recap on this chapter and then we move ahead. What is meant by emulsification? Close down your books all of you. What is meant by emulsification? No raising hands. Let me see how much you all have understood. Basic concept है, इसमें there's no need of preparation for hours. Basic, where is it happening? What is happening? What is emulsification? Sit straight. What are you doing here? What is emulsification? Where does it take place? Emulsification. Next, what is emulsification?
Fats turning to emulsified fats.
Fats turning into
Emulsified fats.
small globules, you will write. With the help of what? with the help of, where does it happen? Where does it happen? Small intestine, in the first part of the small intestine with the help of the bile salts, remember. Name one protein digesting enzyme of the pancreatic juice. Protein digesting enzyme of the pancreatic juice. Protein.
It will be P.
What P? Protein digesting enzyme of the pancreatic juice. क्या है? Next. Huh? Next. Yes. Trypsin. ये मिस इंडिया वाला एक्सप्रेशन ना मेरे सामने कभी दिखाना भी मत. Smartly answer बताना and for that you have to read. इश मुझे ये पता था. Hopeless expression देना ही मत. Next. Vedant. What is the difference between the aorta and the pulmonary artery function?
Aorta carries oxygenated blood and it's
From where to where?
it carries oxygenated blood from heart to every part of the body. Pulmonary artery is an exception which carries deoxygenated blood from body part to the heart, to the right part of the
फिर
heart.
से बोलो pulmonary artery.
It carries the deoxygenated blood from the body and goes towards
Pulmonary artery कहाँ से develop होता है? From where does it arise? Pulmonary artery.
lungs.
कहाँ से pulmonary artery rises from what? कहाँ से develop होगी किस तरफ जाता है?
From the body part to the
From the heart to the lungs. Pulmonary artery from the heart to the lungs and carries deoxygenated blood. One difference between blood and lymph composition. I am asking him. One composition blood and lymph. Composition मैंने पूछा है. Composition, one difference between blood and lymph. Composition क्या लिखोगे? Make it fast. ये तो 9th standard में भी basic चीज ये ही 9th standard में ही पढ़ा है. What I'm asking you now. I'm not asking you anything what I've taught in the 10th. Next. Composition, blood and lymph का composition पे difference बताओ. एक major difference.
Blood contains hemoglobin and lymph does not have hemoglobin.
Composition पे ये नहीं लिखना है.
Ma'am, it's colored. Ma'am, the lymph does not contain RBC.
Wait.
RBC.
Yes.
Lymph has
Lymph does
plasma and WBCs, no RBCs, and blood has plasma, RBC, WBC, platelet. This is what you will have to write. Answers आधा लिखोगे, marks भी आधा ही मिलने वाला है. Next, that was a passover question to you. No? What is the function of enzyme pepsin? मतलब A पूछो, B पूछो, X पूछो, Y पूछो, expression कोई एक ही है. What is the function of enzyme pepsin?
And breaks down proteins into peptides
Where?
in the stomach.
In the stomach. What is the position of the diaphragm during inhalation? Mukund, what is the position of diaphragm during inhalation? सबको आता है, तुम्हें आता है? बताओ.
मुझे बोला
You raised your hand, no? Huh?
क्या नहीं है?
Daksh bolo.
It flattens
And
and
contracts during inhalation. Flattens and contracts during inhalation. Always to remember. One difference between gaseous exchange and tissue respiration.
During
Just tell me oxygen, carbon dioxide movement. That's it. You will be asked in the exam. ऑक्सीजन कहाँ से कहाँ मूव होगा? During gaseous exchange. Gaseous exchange मतलब which part you are understanding? Heart. ये अभी इसको ना बाहर ही फेंक दूंगी. What is gaseous exchange? Which part of the body? The moment I ask you gaseous exchange, which part of the body immediately you understand? Lungs. Nobody will prompt. You better save your knowledge for yourself. You can manage. Lungs. Direction of oxygen. Oxygen कहाँ से कहाँ move होगा? Lungs to
heart.
lungs to surrounding. Lungs के surrounding क्या explain किया था मैंने? Blood vessel. तो oxygen will move from lungs to blood vessels. Lungs to blood vessels. अब अगर मैं टिश्यू की बात कर रही हूँ, then the exchanges between the tissue and the blood. अब ऑक्सीजन कैसे मूव हो रहा है? ब्लड से टिश्यू. अब कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड कैसे होगा? टिश्यू से ब्लड. वाइस वर्सा मत लिखो. Teachers are assuming, then why should that damn teacher give you mark? हम अगर assume करेंगे तो तुमको तो वैसे भी 0 दे देना है ना. You write down the complete answer. The carbon dioxide from tissue to blood and blood to the alveolus. Two features of alveolus. Two special features of alveolus. मैंने पूछा है what is your name? You will tell me my grandfather's name is this and that. What nonsense? I can tell of name. Two special features.
Single layer of epithelial tissue
And one more feature क्या था? One is the alveolus have got a very fine thin lining, and next is
It is richly supplied with blood
Blood
vessels,
vessels.
just like villi.
richly supplied with blood vessels. Name the blood vessels which lie between the artery and the vein.
What?
Blood vessels which lie between artery and vein. Keep your knowledge to yourself. मैं उसको पूछ रही हूँ ना अभी. याद है? Blood vessels which lie between artery and vein. Capillaries. Capillaries. What is the definition of glomerulus today we learned? Network
of blood vessels formed by the afferent
arteriole. डाउट बाद में. जो पढ़ाया मैंने वो तो अभी तक अंदर गया नहीं. रुको. Next. What is the difference between aorta and vena cava? Vena cava क्या है? First ये बोलो कि आज तुम्हारा क्या प्रॉब्लम है? कौन सा?
capillaries
हाँ.
and capillaries उससे पूछा.
नहीं, you answered no? हाँ, हो गया. What are vena cava? What is the function of vena cava?
Gets the blood from the heart to the heart.
हाँ. Which part of the heart?
Right.
Auricle. तो aorta क्या करता है हमारे हार्ट में?
And the oxygenated blood it takes from the heart to the other.
Why is the wall of the left ventricle maximally thick?
To allow contraction or to let the blood pump from the arteries to the rest of the body.
To allow contraction, क्यों contraction तो right ventricle में भी होता है?
It needs a greater force of contraction.
To resist the high force of contraction because the blood has to be thrown to all parts of the body. What is the valve on the right and the left side of the heart? On the right side is?
Right side is bicuspid.
Right side में tricuspid.
And then
Left side में bicuspid. Function क्या है of the bicuspid valve?
It prevents the backflow of the blood.
From?
Which one?
अगर मैंने bicuspid का function पूछा, then what should you write? Prevents the backflow of the blood from?
Left ventricle
To
left
auricle. Very good. What is alcoholic fermentation?
alcoholic fermentation.
याद करो क्या पढ़ा था? alcoholic fermentation क्या है? कुछ भी नहीं याद आ रहा? What is alcoholic fermentation? हाँ, what happens there? Alcoholic fermentation क्या है? You need to answer the previous question. Try. What is alcoholic fermentation? Yes.
Can we give an example?
कुछ भी बताओ. What do you know about alcoholic fermentation? या क्या याद है alcoholic fermentation? Grapes turn into wine. ये मैंने पढ़ाया था.
It is anaerobic respiration in which ethanol, which is a form of alcohol, is released instead of carbon dioxide and ATP.
क्यों? कैसे?
Because there is a lack of oxygen present, so there cannot be a production of adequate amount of ATP or
हाँ, so which product is getting broken down?
Pyruvate gets
Glucose. Straight away. Glucose getting broken down to ethanol in the that you will not mention.
Okay.
Glucose getting broken down. Remember those equations I explained to you? That is
Yes,
what you
ma'am.
are straight away to write. Glucose getting broken down to ethanol, ethyl alcohol. In absence of oxygen, that is alcoholic fermentation.
Yes.
Does our human tissues show anaerobic respiration?
Yes.
Does it show? तो जब अच्छा बुक सामने है तो अगर एनेरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन हमारे टिश्यूज में होता है, then what is the product form? Ethanol. तो हमारे बॉडी में अगर इथेनॉल बनता है तो इतना लंबा लाइन नहीं होता शॉप्स में. हमारे बॉडी सेल्स में कहाँ से इथेनॉल बनता है? What is the product form? Anaerobic respiration हमारे body cells में भी temporarily होता है, but at that time ethanol is not found. What is the product form? Lactic acid. When are you going to open your books? Please go through again and again. We will have to revise this. So many concepts to study. Please, हाँ बोलो. Doubt है? Ask him to. हाँ बोलो.
More questions.
Fast. अच्छा वो डाउट ढूंढ रहा था, तब तक तुम you had a doubt. Same thing अभी जो alcoholic fermentation बोला वही है. Same concept.
बस मैं क्वेश्चन लीजिए मैं हमारी बड़ा आगे पूछ लूंगा.
वही बोला था मैं पास से लेकिन तो सर के लेके आया हूं. घर में लेके क्या है मैं. गिव एन एग्जांपल ऑफ
Anything? What will you ask? What is it?
The difference between blood vessels and capillaries.
There is no difference. Capillaries are one type of blood vessels. Arteries and veins also another. Arteries, veins, capillaries, all are blood vessels. Only the structure function different. Yes.
Number 160 question number 34.
तुम बोलो मेरे पास नहीं.
Give an example of
Vestigial organ. Vestigial organ हमारे body में we have got the large intestine.
What is
वेस्टिजियल मतलब ऑर्गन जो अभी भी हमारे बॉडी में है बट उनका कोई अभी कोई फंक्शन नहीं है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द एंटायर प्रोसेस ऑफ वर्मीफॉर्म अपेंडिक्स. अब ये जो अपेंडिक्स था, when you talk about long generations back, when we talk about the food habit of human was absolutely different than what we have now today. So vermiform appendix was very much helpful in the process of storing food, digesting food, but now it is not because the food habit has changed. It is maximally reduced to size. So that's the reason you will come across. Now vestigial जो भी organs है हमारे body में, it has functionless organ, but it is still there. Evolution maybe now another 50 generations या 1000 generations के बाद शायद ये हो भी ना body में. So that's the reason if a person suffers from appendicitis, which is a major swelling inflammation जो होती है, doctors would easily say that cut it off and throw out. पर liver में swelling है, will the doctor say cut it out and throw out? No, because that's a vital organ of the body.
But liver can regenerate itself.
Very slowly. Very slowly. But if a person goes to even liver cirrhosis may be transplant किया जाता है, etc., etc. Appendix में nothing, just cut it off, yeah. Finish. Because the body function does not get harmed. Because as it is, it has got no function. So there are few organs, very few in our body, functionless organ. उसको बोलेंगे. Other than appendix, when we are talking about even the tailbone, we have got the tailbone. The tailbone is again rudimentary that we have in our body. Even the last molar, वो भी actually almost functionless ही है. So that's the reason it comes also much later in our life. So these are few structures that we have. In the course of evolution, maybe that will get even more.
What is the purpose of the tail and other?
Tail because their body postures are different as compared for the balance of the body, and on top of that, they have got the tail muscles for maintaining the structure shape. That is also necessary. And the body balance posture is different. Now, for us, the posture is different. We don't need that tailbone at all.
Where does mastication of food?
Mouth mastication मतलब chewing. Chewing मतलब mastication.
And what is the name of that vein present in heart? There are 4 veins, right? Right aspect, bicuspid, and which are the 2 veins?
एक तो है pulmonary artery के पास होगा pulmonary semilunar, aorta के पास होगा aortic semilunar. 4 veins. ठीक है? Go through all the questions. जो भी doubt है clear करो.
The question I had was, I just followed answers for respiration. It says, while it harmful to respire through mouth than through nasal openings, a lot of people respire with their mouth at night, and because they're unable to do it with their nasal passage. How come it's harmful if everyone's doing it?
It is harmful.
Particles go inside because our nasal
has got the ciliated epithelium. So that you have to mention. Ciliated epithelium acts as a filter.
Yeah, but all humans, almost everybody does it at some point in the night. They breathe through their mouth.
No, but a person who is constantly suffering from sinuses, various different type of nose blockade, they would majorly suffer. They would generally have a tendency of breathing through the mouth. Other than that, we sometimes maybe during our sleep, but other than that, we are not inhaling or taking air by the mouth. So people who has major congestions in the nose and sinus problems and etc., various different type of problems are there. Then for them it's a major problem because the air passage does not happen. So ek to hai wo the air conditioning is not happening inside the body. The air that we inhale is getting that moist and warm. वो feature भी उनका नहीं होता. Filtration नहीं होता. The hair likes acts as a filter. So that is the major problem that we have.
Why is it harmful to respire through mouth and through nasal openings?
कोई तो पूछा अभी.
Very good attention.
He was jumping with his answer, a question, but not eager to listen to the answer. Volume में जितने भी questions हैं, go through all the questions from time to time. See that एक पेज करके जब भी पढ़ने बैठो आधा पेज एक पेज करके go through all the questions. See that you know the answers of all. Volume में नहीं था. Calvin cycle means the dark phase of photosynthesis. Remember we had studied the light phase and the dark phase, the light independent. I have explained you that. The phases of photosynthesis I explained.
That doesn't require sunlight and standby.
Dark phase को ही Kelvin cycle बोला जाता है. Dark phase and Kelvin cycle is the same thing. Okay. Now we start with the concept of control. What happened? You look so tense.
I have one more. I mean, are scavengers examples of saprophytic thing?
No. Scavengers and saprophytes are absolutely different. Scavengers are something like those vultures will
Yes, ma'am, but they
check
also
up.
feed on dead animals.
No, but they are feeding on the entire organism, and saprophytes are feeding on the organism dead and decomposed. The vulture is just taking the rabbit and eating it away. But the fungus is feeding on the decomposed dead organism where the organic matter is already in the soluble form after decomposition. Saprophyte decomposition के पहले उसको खा जाता है.
Ma'am, this is not a book, but like, ma'am.
तुम्हारी मन की बात है.
Yes, sir.
हाँ बोलो. दिल से related है.
Ma'am, during a heart transplant, ma'am, like, or every second the blood passes through the heart. So during a heart transplant, when they take out the heart, where does the blood go?
No, no. During the heart transplant या जो भी heart related surgeries होती है, the blood flow generally is taken as a bypass. But वो bypass में जो system of tubes है हमारे body में, there are many different set of tubes. जैसे highway है, एक highway block है तो we take the other route and go, no? Exactly same thing is there in our body. एक particular vessel block है तो other vessel से भी काम चलता है. So during the process of surgery, that's the reason these surgeries before they start, they would always make sure that the other pathway is clean. Body में 2-3 pathways अगर clean है, then only the surgery will be started. So that during the process, when a part of the heart is cut away or replaced, that process of circulation should continue, and then the restoration will be done. So the person is not collapsing, that's how. और अगर कोई भी pathway workout नहीं कर रहा है, then the surgery will not be started only. Surgery तभी start किया जाएगा when 2-3 pathways clear हो and another 1-2 pathway को वो लोग correct कर रहे हैं. That is what they are doing during the surgery.
Ma'am, while giving injection, what if the doctor injects through the vein? What will happen?
Injects through the vein. क्या इंजेक्ट क्या करना है? इंजेक्शन तो थ्रू द वेन ही होता है.
नहीं मैम आपको बोलना है वो जो इंजेक्शन देते हैं वो हम वेन में देते हैं बट वो जो नीडल है वो वेन के वो साइड निकल गई तो ऐसे नहीं
वेन के वो साइड निकल गई तो वो पेशेंट से कितना खाएगा जबरदस्त ये सोचो.
वो वही निकाल के मारेगा.
So that means we are talking about a very inexperienced hand. तो वो generally नहीं होता है, होता भी है, but where we come across quite a number of times when these nurses and all they pierce and straight amount of blood starts oozing out. I don't know, you all have seen that happens. ये नहीं कि ऐसा नहीं होता. It happens when they start pricking the veins to inject something or draw the blood. Quite a number of times it happens that they are constantly puncturing the blood vessels. पूरा puncture हो जाता है and it goes through. So when it goes through, there will be so much of blood oozing out. And at that time, you can immediately understand that the nurses or the doctors, they are inexperienced or they are not able to manage. But if it is an experienced hand, they will pierce it so nicely and take out almost about 2 ml of blood, not even a drop lost from the body. So that is skill and unskilled. A person who is skilled will not lose a drop of blood from your body and so smoothly it will be done. So in case you all become a doctor, यहाँ से अगर 2-4 डॉक्टर बनते हो तो वैसे वाला डॉक्टर मत बनना कभी. Look good and think about the patient's relative. They'll give you a good tight on your slap on your face. हाँ बोलो fast.
Preparation of temporary mounds of a leaf peel. What is leaf peel?
Leaf peel. Leaf peel. You take a leaf. When you take a leaf के एक upper एक skin जैसा रहता है, same like us. Leaf का भी upper epidermis रहता है, so that is almost like a transparent white layer. जो हम निकाल के उसको एक्सपेरिमेंट कर सकते
There
हैं.
is a steps of preparation of temporary form of a leaf field form.
हाँ, तो उसको निकाल के it is washed in the water. फिर उसको स्टेन करते हैं. पार्टिकुलर डाई होती है for the plant tissues. डाई करके ग्लिसरीन ड्रॉप लगा के under the microscope you can see the cells and the structures. Not the leaf. The leaf section भी होता है, but this is the leaf field also we can see to see the cells. Yes.
How would non-secretion of saliva affect digestion of food in our mouth?
Yes. What is it? Saliva and in the
How would non-secretion of saliva affect digestion of food in our mouth?
हाँ, so saliva में कौन सी एंजाइम होती है? Salivary amylase. So अगर किसी के माउथ में secretion of saliva is very less, what type of food digestion will be affected in his body?
Protein.
Carbohydrate. Salivary amylase always helps in the digestion of carbohydrates. Now let us start down.
Ma'am, already it's 55.
You have to change your watch.
You can give introduction.
We talk about control coordination. What is it? When we are talking about control coordination, what is the meaning of coordination? What is the meaning of coordination? Coordination means taking the action or taking the understanding the changes in the surrounding and doing a particular action. To make it very simple. So when we are talking about what is meant by coordination, what are we going to understand here? We are going to understand that there are certain parts of our body which are constantly taking information from the external environment and helping us respond accordingly. Now, say suppose now right here in this class, when we are talking, now that I am talking, you are listening. I say take out your notebook, you can take out your notebook, but you are not taking out your tiffin box right now. So now when I talk about this, what is it? Coordination. Meaning the specialized cells in your ear taking some information and acting accordingly. Your friend is asking for the water bottle, you are not handing over the book. Why? Correct coordination. So which are those cells in our body which allow the process of coordination happen? The neurons, the nerve cells. So when we are talking about the nerve cells also known as the neurons, where are these neurons present? All over the body. The neurons are present all over the body, but now that we talk about which are some of the major parts of the body where these neurons are present? Maxillary, eyes, skin, ears, we talk about the nose, we talk about the tongue, and yes, so these are the sensory organs where the large number of neurons are there and the neurons are constantly engaged in receiving information. So now when I talk about any particular neuron, what are the major parts? Even in the 9th standard we had studied this. When we are talking about the major structure of a neuron, what would be the major structure of a neuron? Every particular neuron has certain parts and respectively their functions. So, what are these parts that I am drawing? These are dendrites. What is this central region known as? We are talking about the cell body. This is the cell body. This entire long thread-like structure is known as the axon. Surrounding the axon, when we are talking about this axon, when we are talking about the protective, what are the major parts? The major parts, already you know this. I talk about the dendrites, the major parts of the neuron. Dendrites are there. This is the major cell part. What do we call this as? We talk about the cell body. What is the other word of the cell body? Perikaryon. Complete this diagram. Perikaryon. So we are talking about the perikaryon, also known as the cell body. Next is we come to understand that the class will not make a noise. Class will not make a noise. Now that we talk about the entire neuron, the neuron has short processes, numerous, large number of these short processes. What are these short processes known as? Dendrites.
No. Nucleus.
You have to draw this.
I'll trace it.
What is it?
Can you please
I'll break your head now. Now, when we are talking about this entire structure, what are we coming across? This particular cell, the neuron, will have multiple short branches. Check here. And these multiple short branches are known as what? Dendrites. Numerous. They are short and they are branched. What about this? A very long single structure, thread-like structure known as the axon. Surrounding the axon, there are some other structures that we have to mention. Surrounding the axon are some protective structures. One is known as the neural lemma, and followed by that some layers or deposits of fatty tissue, and this deposits of fatty tissue is known as myelin sheath. So this is, first of all, we are talking about the neural lemma, which is the protective cover of the axon, the neural lemma. L-E-M-M-A, neural lemma. What is it? That is the protective structure. Take a check of the spelling. And then you have got the myelin sheath, also known as the medullary sheath. And the last region is known as the axon terminals. So now, draw this diagram. This is nothing new for you. You already know this diagram. So what are the dendrites mentioned? What are the dendrites parts functions to remember? When I talk about the dendrites, what is the first feature that you should always remember about the dendrites? Dendrites are short processes. And second is they are always branched. Are they branched? Check in the figure. Are they branched? Yes. So this is what you should always write. The dendrites are short processes and they are branched processes. In comparison, when I write about the axon, for the axon I will write the axon is a single long process. Axon is a single long process. It is a single long process. Only one process means a long fiber-like structure, remember? Single long process. Is it branched or unbranched? It is unbranched. It is unbranched. What is about the dendra, or what is about the neuron? You should remember. First of all, I already mentioned about the axon and the dendrites. About their major structure. When I talk about the structural feature of the dendrites and the axon, what about the perikaryon or the cell body? What is cell body? Cell body is the major cell part of a neuron. It is this neuron same like any other normal cell of our body? No. Whenever we draw a normal cell of the body, other regular cell of the body, how do we draw? This is how we draw, no? The regular cell of the body. But here it is a cell with long processes, fiber-like structures. So when we are talking about the cell body, one special feature of the cell body is this cell has nucleus which does not show division. The nucleus does not show division. The process of division cannot happen. The process of division cannot happen for this neuron. We are born with millions of neurons and there is no production of the neurons happening ever.
So we have
One set of neurons, so we have got millions of neurons, and out of those neurons, every few days some are getting damaged. And that is the reason as we age, the neuronal processes become slow and sluggish. So when we, otherwise, if there would have been something known as the repair and the division, that would not have happened so fast. It's not so. By the time a person reaches 65, 70, the process of, or if somebody has gone through some major accident, surgeries, etc., then the neuronal processes get damaged much faster.
And that's also the reason why you cannot repair brain damage.
Exactly. So because these neurons, they don't have any repair system in our body, no division pattern like the skin and the liver and the bone and the muscle. So the major differences I have already mentioned. When I give you questions, you should be able to write down the structural differences I already mentioned, the dendrites, the axon. For the dendrites, function when you are asked, what is the function of the dendrites? Receive stimulus. We will learn next class. What is the meaning of the word stimulus? The function of the dendrites is receive stimulus. And what is the function of the axon? The function of the axon is to conduct impulses. Function of the axon is to conduct impulses. We will learn what is the meaning of the word stimulus and impulses in the next class. We are talking about the neurolemma. What is it? It is just a protective cover. Neurolemma is just a protective cover. Myelin sheath has a major function. What is this myelin sheath made up of? It is a fatty deposit surrounding the axon. What is this myelin sheath? It is a fatty deposit, fatty tissue it is. What is the function of this fatty tissue? If I talk about the function of this fatty tissue, you are supposed to write acts as an insulator. Acts as an insulator and prevents the loss of messages. Acts as an insulator and prevents the loss of messages or impulses. The same thing that you have studied in the 9th standard. So now, what is the job of the myelin sheath? What is myelin sheath? It is nothing but a fatty layer surrounding the axon so that the impulses are not lost. Information will all pass through from here to here. If the impulses are lost all throughout, by the time the information reaches here, 50% efficiency or even lesser. So when you are hearing something and by the time you do the job, it's almost 2 minutes gone perhaps. But we hear and we immediately react, we see and we immediately react only because of the myelin sheath present. So what is the job of the myelin sheath? It is a fatty deposit surrounding the axon which prevents the loss of messages. Yes.
What are the dots supposed to be? Either black and red dots.
These dots are actually certain proteins which is not there in your book, but these are certain proteins. These are known as missile granules which give a grey color to the neuron actually. The cell, the neuron cell is almost greyish, silverish grey in color. Because of certain specialized granules present here. They have got a name also. These are known as the missile granules, which give this is optional, which gives a greyish silver color to the neuron. All of you will complete this diagram. This diagram is there in your volume, in your textbook. You can complete this diagram and show me the next class. Complete your work again. Complete your work again. Complete the diagram with the notes.
ये बेटा इसकी जल्दी
क्यों घर पे से नहीं बना रहे डायग्राम है क्या करेगा यहाँ पे अरे नहीं ये क्या समझना मैंने लिख दिया
आई ठीक है लिख दिया तो बात कर और चल जल्दी
ये लिखा
ये पकड़ती नहीं ऐसे उड़के
मैंने तो आना है हमारा
वो ऐसी
फिजिक्स
पिक्चर आपको इधर ही डाल दिया
You can अभी I will kill you. वो शासन मुझे वो शासन मुझे मेरी क्या नहीं दोनों ने देखा और दोनों का बोल दे
बस
देखा मत देख रही होगी
दोनों हमें
में जा नहीं सकते हैं
चल ये वो क्या है बॉडी के उस पे
हमारी बोर्ड देखते हैं
मैंने पूछा 2 बार तो सीन में छोड़ दिया
वहां पे क्या कर रहा है
क्या
भाई अभी चश्मा
क्या मार के भी है
चश्मा चश्मा इजी है और लास्ट में ऐसा हो रहा है चश्मा
अरे साइड हो ना अरे साइड हो ना
चल
होता भी
आराम से है वो कर
काय विषय किती लेट तुम्ही
ये हटेगा
जा ना जल्दी
जल्दी जाओ
ये उधर नहीं जा सकता है तो ये तो लगा ये लगा
हां मैं लगा जाते थे
कुछ भी हो
भाई तू उसका काम नहीं कर रहा है